Hello again, this is tzekel-kan with Disney versus non-Disney villains, this time round 3. We start off with Jafar from Disney's Aladdin versus Zig Zag from The Thief and the Cobbler. I will say when I first saw the series, I wasn't familiar with Zig Zag or the movies from, so I did watch the movie, and I will say The Thief and the Cobbler is actually a really good movie. I mean, it's become one of my new favorite non-Disney films. And after seeing the movie, it's understandable why you have Zig Zag fight Jafar, because they're both similar, because they're both evil sorcerers, they're both grand viziers. They both have a pet bird, you know, Jafar having Iago the parrot, and Zig Zag having Fido the vulture. And they both want to take over the both want to take care of the, sorry, I can't talk today. They both want to take over the kingdoms they're from, you know, Jafar in this case with Agrabah and Zig Zag's case with Baghdad. And in order to do so, they have to marry the princesses. With Jafar, it's Jasmine, and Zig Zag, it's Yum Yum. Yeah, that's another thing. Why is it that so many characters in the movie have such weird names? Because you have Tak, Princess Yum Yum, Zig Zag, Fido, King Nod, King One Eye. So yeah, there's a lot of strange names. Still a good movie. And this was a good fight, and Jafar, I'll have to say, is another one of my favorite Disney villains. I mean, somewhere between Facilier and Hades. Alright, now we have Scar from Disney's The Lion King versus Scar Snout from the Rugrats movie. I did not expect to see this fight because I never watched Rugrats when I was a kid. I don't care for it much. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah. I'm not criticizing the fight. This was a still very good fight. I mean, well edited. A nice way to introduce Scar into the war. Yeah, Scar is probably one of my favorite Disney animal villains. Along with Shere Khan, Kaa, or the Carnotaurus from Disney's Dinosaur are some of my favorites. So yeah, I figured Scar would win this fight. Alright. After the death of Sykes, Roscoe and DeSoto go out to take their revenge out on Carface. Carface. So Carface hides by his crime business partner, Caspar Wall, from An American Tale File Goes West. And I imagine that these two would team up. They are kind of similar villains. And Caspar Wall, he's an okay villain. I mean, he's probably one of my favorite non-Disney villains. I don't know, I guess it's his suave, gentleman-like attitude in some sense. But this is a pretty brutal fight, though. Alright, now we have Shan Yu from Disney's Mulan versus the Snow Queen from the 1957 Russian film, The Snow Queen. It's good to see Shan Yu in the war. And I know that Senator Windman brought this up, that I also find very strange, that the Snow Queen is from Russia and the Huns are from Mongolia. So yeah, they really are fighting at the borders. And I never seen The Snow Queen, but all I could tell it's a really old movie. And it's just bizarre that all she has to do is blink, and it causes an avalanche. In the final fight, Clayton from Disney's Tarzan and McQuaid from Disney's The Rescue Down Under versus tzekel-kan from The Road to El Dorado. Anyway, Ratcliffe sends two poachers, Clayton from England and McQuaid from Australia, to take out the evil Mayan priest known as tzekel-kan. I figured you would have Clayton and McQuaid team up, because they are both poachers and all. Although I think more people like McQuaid than do Clayton. I'll have to admit, McQuaid is another favorite Disney villain of mine. What I'm wondering, though, is why is it that McQuaid is in his truck, but Clayton is not riding with him? I mean, did he just feel like walking to El Dorado or something? I don't know. I just find that weird. I was pretty disappointed that Khan won and that McQuaid and Clayton lost. Mostly McQuaid. Clayton, I just don't really care much for because he just doesn't do as much at all. And he's kind of an idiot of how he defeats these and all, where he hung himself. Although I do like Tarzan. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, mainly because the characters and the storyline and the music. I mean, who agrees with me that Phil Collins is like one of the greatest singers of this time, especially when it comes to Disney? I mean, he did the music for both Tarzan and Brother Bear. Both really good music stuff, yeah. Alright, now we have another epic log. In France, Ratcliffe holds a meeting with Kit Mansley from the Iron Giant, Gaston, and Ruber from Quest for Camelot, and reveals Rollo, who has survived his fight with Jafar. However, Ruber does not like the idea of being ordered around by an old geezer, as he would probably refer Rollo as, so he tries to take over his leadership. I do like the idea of Rollo and Ruber being rivals. They pretty go together as being rivals. Yeah, something like that. And back in the underworld, Pain and Panic now work for Hexus. And Hexus looks to the... well... yeah, Hexus just used the past fights going on through the war, and decides it's time to summon a new ally, who is my all-time favorite non-Disney villain. Thrax from Osmosis Jones. I was so psyched at this moment that you're using Thrax, because I will say, he's a very awesome villain, and the movie he's from is pretty good, so, yeah. So yeah, this was my commentary on Round 3. Sorry if it wasn't as exciting as the other commentaries. I didn't really have a whole lot to say about this, but... anyway, hopefully my other commentaries will be just as good, so... anyway, this is Hiki Primo 7, and have a nice day.